Guys, got one more topic I want to talk about. It's a very long drive on the job site that I'm on, so I've got a lot of time on my hands. So I wanted to talk about trying to think like a journeyman from day one. A lot of guys box themselves into this status where they're like, well, I'm just an apprentice. And I kind of just want to point out that nothing really separates you from being an apprentice and a journeyman other than the fact that you've created an idea in your head that in 4 years you can be a journeyman. And in certain states, that's typically the way of things, but there's nothing that is going to change the status of you not knowing stuff to you knowing stuff, other than you starting to take on more responsibilities. And that can seem kind of stupid when you're someone who is, just starting out. You're making like $18 an hour, and you're like, this is just like, why am I going to take lead on something? I'm making $18 an hour. I don't make enough to be doing that. But as someone who is now at that status and can ask for a higher wage now, I've kind of seen that it's mainly just a structure of time that they put on people to, I think functionally it makes it so that they can make you be cheap labor for longer. But in reality, honestly, there's only maybe 11 different ways of doing the same thing, providing power to something and supporting it. And it just takes those different forms. And honestly, you're not ever going to know all of the different forms that it can take. I feel like I still am finding new conduit hanger supports or new ways of supporting conduit. And I'm 5 years in. There's a large market that exists in supply houses to accommodate the needs of the electrical industry. And I think that if you're seeing something new and you're like, oh, I've never seen this product before, that makes me think that I'm not experienced enough. I don't think that you're ever going to come across a time when you're not going to see something new in electrical. And because of that, I think it maybe makes people feel like they aren't as well versed, or they're not at a journeyman level yet. But I just want to point out to you that as someone who's 5 years in, I'm still seeing stuff that's new I never saw before. And all I really have to, make note of to bring it into the wheelhouse is just being like, okay, well, that, follows the form of being a conduit support, or it's just a different brand that, makes SO cord connectors like this, or, it's a new panel type that I've never seen before, or this gear has a different way of landing it, or, new Tesla or a new electric car charger is in existence, and you have to deal with that. And, it's just all we're really doing is familiarizing ourselves with new engineered products. Honestly, that's a pretty good way of summing up what you are doing in electrical, is taking commercially available products, making yourself well versed in what they are, and knowing how to use those products. That's honestly all it is. I never thought that I would be focusing on hardware so much as an electrician. I thought I was going to be doing all this electrical stuff when I first started out. But a lot of it is this is steel pipe. You're bending steel pipe. You're working with these steel products, or you're turning, hardware, or, stacking hardware, storing hardware, installing hardware, and familiarizing yourself with the different forms that fasteners and bolts and screws can take, and becoming accustomed to the tools that install those products. That is the niche that you fall into as an electrician, is knowing the tools that install the products, and then being efficient enough with them that makes you a good installer. Like if you break down the term like electrician, you're basically just an electrical products installer. So like at the end of the day, that's what your 4 years is going to get you. It's going to get you a relatively well-versed like familiarity with a large range of electrical products, and that's kind of all it is. And I guess the only other thing that I can put to that is that you become familiar with like the code out in the field, and like what functionally is stuff that you like. I'd say about like 8 or 9 codes. Knowing about like 8 or 9 codes can be enough for you to be a journeyman. It's kind of insane. Like knowing supporting lengths for like the most common types of conduits that you're going to use, or understanding bonding, or understanding like when neutrals and grounds are bonded, or different voltages, and how at different voltages the multi-wire that you need to create that installation, like knowing like those like 4 or 5 things honestly can take you to a status of like journeyman. It's kind of bizarre, and so I just kind of wanted to point that out, because like if you think that in 5 years everything's going to make sense, it's not. It's going to be you, just like in life, always keeping all of everything in mind, and not like waiting for a certain time to come for when you like Pokemon evolve into like a journeyman, or waiting for you to be successful or something like that. Like it's an active learning process, and functionally like being a journeyman is an active like presence that you're going to just come into naturally if you just took ownership of the stuff that's going on around you. And criticism of that would be that like in electrical, like you don't know what you're doing until both your fucking feet are right in the middle of it, and you've been looking at it for a few minutes. Like honestly, it's very bizarre how on the fly construction is, especially for the workers, the people who actually build it. And so to that end, like getting quick with understanding that process honestly can just push you leaps and bounds ahead of the pack with getting good at doing journeyman things, like taking ownership of stuff, knowing the next step, taking the initiative to go get material or sort material or get what you need to carry out whatever you're trying to install. Like that is honestly all that being a journeyman is just to understand what you're installing, what you need to be able to install it, looking ahead, getting material lists going, knowing, like keeping an active list of things that you notice you're low on so that you can order them, familiarizing yourself with the blueprints so that you're not beholden to someone for information all the time. Like those are things that are responsibilities of journeyman, but like the only thing that you need to be able to do to get to that point is just to take those things on. So like these are just some things that I think kind of break the misconception about like how journeymen are these people who are like above everyone else. Like they're just dudes just like you that have been in it for like 4 years, and then somebody slapped a title on them because that's what the industry says is the amount of time that you need to be in the gig to actually Like, if you're an apprentice, don't let someone walk over you because they're a journeyman. Like, oh, you're a journeyman? Like, ask them about some codes, because they probably don't know. So you can very quickly get to the heart of the fact that they're just a guy who's been in it, and they know how to run pipe, and they know how to, like, support stuff. And honestly, there's not a whole lot to electrical work when you really simplify it. It's a crazy tedious. A lot of stuff has to go right. And you have to be so prepared and think ahead and plan ahead. But honestly, it's rather like simplistic stuff. You just need to make sure all your ducks are in a row for it to succeed. And honestly, just knowing those things is probably at the heart of what it is, of what becoming a journeyman is just knowing all that stuff that goes into like a successful like install or a followed through on job. Like if you're taking apart a panel, like don't just like blank out, like, because you're like not sure what to do. Like if it's an old panel, all the stickers might be kind of or like the numbers on the number stickers on the wire might like be old and might fall off. So always take a picture of the work that you do beforehand. It's just a nice trick to do. And then you can delete it in a couple of days when you no longer think it's of use to you. But just take a pic. Like if you open something up, just take a picture. If you see something that's got like labels that are about to fall off and you're about to pull it maybe in and out of the conduit, like tape it up again, put a couple extra numbers on it, make sure that it's going to be something that you can identify. If you're just got thrown on a new job, like do some of the legwork of understanding where the panels are, or where the material shark cages are, or where in the Connex our extra stuff is stored. Like get to know everybody's name, like be somewhat personable with the people around you. Don't just show up to work, like do the work and then dip out. Like have an active presence. And those are kind of the things that I feel like a journeyman does, and maybe they become more like naturally drawn to that after 4 to 5 years. But that's not something that is exclusive to someone who can be in the trade, who has been in the trade for 4 to 5 years or something like that. Like that's something that you could do on day one as an apprentice. And don't call yourself, you don't say like I'm just an apprentice. Like just don't do it. Don't box yourself into a title of someone who's inept. Like I know that you need experience and you're gonna get that on the job, but just don't just sell yourself short. It's just be like, oh well, I'm just an apprentice. Like just be like, oh, like have an active want to learn, and like be willing to take on additional tasks. And because that's what a journeyman does, is they just get a crap ton of stuff dumped in their work load for the day, and then they just have to do it, and then also like teach and work with other people. So if you want to become a journeyman quickly and maybe even move up quickly, like faster, don't wait till year 4 to start thinking about what journeymen are supposed to do. Like just take an active presence immediately at work, and don't be like a brown nose, or don't like be like a company man. Those are really annoying things, but it can be done in a total way that's totally fine, of you just following up being like, oh, we're running low on 1/4-inch washers, we're running low on 3/8 hardware, like let me make a list. So just try to tackle a problem like you're trying to solve it for you. And if you keep tabs on stuff like that, you'll definitely start to be noticed more frequently at work. And honestly, the way you move up in construction is people. So if they see that you have an active presence at work, and it seems like you care to a certain extent about the stuff that's going on, like people will take note of that. And I don't know, if you stay with a company for like 4 to 5 years, it's like not unlikely that you could be given like the lead positions, and then like be put on certain boards, and then eventually that just kind of softballs you up to becoming a foreman. So like, you know, if you want to make more money, if that's why you're in the trade, like, you know, that could save you 4 to 5 years of being in a different position. Like, you want to make the most amount of money in the fastest way possible, and that's why you got into the construction industry. You thought that that was the way to get money. So take it upon yourself to do things that are going to put you in a position to succeed, and more than likely those things will come. So those are some things that I have to say about how apprentices can frame their mind to be a journeyman on day one.